In this session we will cover interview questions and answers related to the SAP HANA database architecture. Question number 18. What is the architecture of SAP HANA database? Answer. SAP HANA system comprises multiple isolated databases and may consist of one host or a cluster of several hosts. SAP HANA system is identified by a single system ID and contains one or more tenant databases and one system database. A system may consist of one host or a cluster of several hosts. The SAP HANA database is built on C++ and operates on SUSE and Red Hat Linux Enterprise Server. Question number 19. What are the servers or processes used in SAP HANA database architecture? Answer. The SAP HANA architecture consists of below different types of servers or processes that make the system architecture. Index server, name server, preprocessor, compile server, access engine, statistics server. Question number 20. What is index server in HANA database? Answer. Index server is the main SAP HANA database component. It is heart of the HANA database. It contains the actual data stores and the engines for processing the data. That means HANA data are stored in the index server. When we take backup of HANA tenant database, index server data is backup. When we restore and recover tenant database, index server data is restore and recover. If index server is restarted, then complete HANA database restarted. If index server is crashed, then whole HANA database is crash. The index server processes user request. Index server has internal port and external port for communication. Index server is part of tenant database and it is a persistence service. Question number 21. What is name server in HANA database? Answer. This server holds complete information about the system landscape. The name server owns the information about the topology of SAP HANA system in single container database. In a distributed system, the name server knows where the components are running and which data is located on which server. Name server acts as a cluster manager in the host auto failover configuration. Name server has internal port and external port for communication. Name server is part of system database and it is persistence service. When we take backup of system database, then name server data is backup. When we restore and recover system database, then name server data is restore and recover. Question number 22. What is statistics server in HANA database? Answer. This server helps to collect the data for the system monitor and helps you know the health of the SAP HANA system. The statistics server collects information about status, performance and resource consumption from the other servers in the system. The statistics server also provides a history of measurement data for further analysis. Statistics server now merged into index and name server. The statistical server is responsible for checking and analyzing the health of HANA components. It monitors the allocation and consumption of system resources and logs overall system performance. Question number 23. What is preprocessor server in HANA database? Answer. This server comes into the picture during text data and unstructured data analysis. The preprocessor server is used by the index server to analyze text data and unstructured data. Question number 24. What is compile server in HANA database? Answer. The compile server performs the compilation of stored procedures and programs, for example, SQL script procedures. It runs on every host and does not persist data. Question number 25. What is Access Engine Server in HANA database? Answer. SAP HANA Access stands for SAP HANA Extended Application Services. Access Engine is an optional component. Using Access Engine, client can connect to SAP HANA database to fetch data via HTTP or HTTPS. The Access Engine allows external applications and application developers to access the SAP HANA system via the Access Engine client. Access Engine is the persistence services and it is part of tenant database. Question number 26. What are the persistence services in HANA database? Answer. Persistence services are the services which store the data on disk. For example, index server, name server and access engine are the persistence services. Question number 27. What are the non-persistence services in HANA database? Answer. Non-persistence services are the services which store the data in the memory and does not persist data on the disk. For example, compile and preprocessor server are the non-persistence services. Question number 28. What is SAP HANA persistence layer? Answer. SAP HANA persistence layer manages logging of all the transactions in order to provide standard backup and restore functions. Both the row stores and column stores tables interact with the persistence layer. It offers regular save points and logging of all database transactions since the last save point. The persistence layer is responsible for the durability and atomicity of transactions. The persistence layer manages both data and log volumes on the disk. Question number 29. What is primary and secondary persistence layer in HANA database? Answer. Memory is the primary persistence layer and disk is the secondary persistence layer. In HANA, data is created or deleted or updated in the memory only. That is the reason memory is the primary persistence layer. Question number 30. What is save points in HANA database? Answer. Save point ensures that all changed persistent data since the last save point gets written to disk. The SAP HANA database triggers save points in 5 minutes intervals by default. When save point is executed, data is automatically saved from memory to the data volume located on disk. Save points run asynchronously to SAP HANA update operations. Question number 31. Explain SAP HANA single host architecture database. Answer. SAP HANA single host architecture database consists of single host. All HANA services are runs on single host. like index server, name server, preprocessor, compile server etc. run on single host. Single host architecture database is a scale-up system. Question number 32. Explain SAP HANA multi-host architecture database. Answer. SAP HANA multi-host architecture database consists of multiple hosts. Workloads are distributed across the hosts. Multi-host architecture database is a scale-out system. One host is called master node and remaining nodes call as slave or standby host. In next session we will covers the most commonly asked interview questions in SAP HANA database installation preparations.